Welcome bitches, one and all, to my reaction to Season 1, Episode 4 of the originals, Girl in New Orleans. So last time we got to see Klaus and Rebecca enact their plan to get Elijah back. However, even after the plan was basically a complete success, Davina did not want to part with Elijah so quickly. Now, towards the end of the episode, we did also have a very ominous reveal from the witches that something is going on with Haley's baby. We don't know what, but they definitely know something that we do not. So I'm excited to find out about that as well. But yes, anyway, with that said, very excited to get into it and to see how the story develops. So without further ado, let's go.
Over the course of my life, I've encountered no shortage of those who would presume to speak of good and evil. People do what is in their best interest, regardless of who gets hurt.
On that, I think we disagree. Actually, that's one of those weird things, isn't it? It's similar to when people say, if you are someone who gives to others, you are a good person, but then that could also be inherently selfish, because if you get a good feeling from giving to others, is that you being selfless because you're getting that good feeling that you like? Do you know what I mean? So it's it's like on the same lines of you do things that are in your best interest. So even if you do things for other people, they're in your best interest. So I don't know, maybe Klaus does have a point there.
What some would call evil, I believe to be an appropriate response to a harsh and unfair world.
I don't think statements like that are very, I can't think of the right word, but they're very like absolutionist. I don't agree with that.
I've since learned of another young woman, a girl really, one with vast potential.
Davina.
Held in captivity by a tyrant.
But she's not really held in captivity because it seemed like she liked Marcel.
Tell me, Cammy, does that sound evil to you?
Doesn't sound evil, Klaus. It's more so your methods.
Personal relationships, stress-related paranoia, chronic anger issues, fear of abandonment. I think you could benefit from talking to someone professionally.
Oh, she just read him like a fucking book.
You're frightened. Don't be.
I'm not scared anymore.
Yeah, we're getting into that dangerous territory.
It's a neat bit of vampire trickery. I'll tell you all about it. But first, let's talk a little more about Marcel.
So, not only has he got in Marcel's inner circle, well, he's not actually in the inner circle, is he? But he's slowly making his way there. But he's also got someone on the inside on a potentially even more personal level. My only issue with all of this is it going to run along the same lines as that other vampire where, because Klaus has said to her, like, follow all of my compulsions, even if she takes Vervain, it won't matter. Like, he can easily compel her, because surely Marcel is going to slip Vervain into her food/water source. Like, surely he's going to find some way to stop anyone taking advantage of her if he does truly like her. But then, you know what, the other thing I was thinking of as well, we know that being turned into a vampire breaks your compulsion, so you need to be careful, Klaus, because actually, that doesn't really add up. I was gonna say you need to be careful because, like, what if things get serious between Cammy and Marcel decides to turn her so that, like, they can actually be together? But he said that he was interested in her because she was human. He said that it's nice to, like, get a look into humanity every now and then and remind ourselves what our humanity was. He said something along those lines, you know what I mean? So I don't think he would turn her, so maybe just ignore that.
Time to give old Elijah back to Klaus anyway.
You asked me to figure out how to kill the originals. I'm not done.
Klaus saved my life. I owe him one.
I do anything you say, but sometimes I think you'd forget what I'm capable of.
I was gonna say.
Did you know I can make someone's blood boil? All I have to do is focus.
Fucking hell. Ugh.
Fine. We compromise. All right? You going out alone, too dangerous. But I'll introduce you to a friend of mine that's going to be there. All right? Nice lady.
Cammy. That was, sorry, I know I've paused so much at the start of the episode. That was leading into what I was saying last episode about the fact that Marcel's hold over Davina is very superficial. Like, his only hold over her is the hold that she gives him, is the power that she allows him to have over her. Because if she truly wanted to, she could outpower him in a fucking heartbeat. She could kill him in a heartbeat. Probably wouldn't even break a sweat. So I think Marcel needs to be a little more careful around her. Not do everything she says, because then you fully give her all the power, and that's not what Marcel wants. But to have a little bit of leeway like he's doing here, I think if he really dug his nails in then and said, no, you're not doing it, then that would have fucked with everything. So at least he's smart enough to realize that. But yeah, in regards to Elijah, can we please have him back? Like, they're umming and ahhing it this whole time, but it seems like he's going to give him back. So please.
How is it that when you come up to me now and no one else is around, I suddenly remember that you just told me you're a vampire and you're mind controlling me?
We saw this with Catherine as well when she did the compulsion with that whole town where like they forgot her until they saw her.
The girl needs your help. Call Marcel. Tell him you'd be happy to oblige.
Okay.
I told you, Agnes. I feel great.
You are overdue for a checkup.
Yeah, why are the witches getting in with Haley? What's going on with this baby?
A lot of women would kill to have a child. Strikes me as odd that you're not taking better care of yours.
Damn, Rebecca.
I know a doctor out in the bayou, off the beaten path. I took the liberty of making an appointment for you. Tonight, after hours, just us. Vampires will never get word of it.
I do agree that she needs to see a doctor. Like, we can't just be pregnant for 9 months and have a baby and, like, nothing go wrong / be looked at, you know? But I'm suspicious of the witches now.
If Davina's loyalty to Marcel is strained, perhaps the young witch will be open to discussing a new alliance.
As usual, your power grabs are more important than rescuing your brother.
Yep.
I prefer to think of it as killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
But at the end of the day, Klaus, which would come first? The power or Elijah? I think the power.
What if I told you that I could help you out with your Klaus problem in exchange for the tiniest bit of gossip?
Like what?
He seems to have moved on, and I'd like to know with who.
You've seen him with the bartender.
Only blind man would choose her over me. There must be another girl in his harem.
This is a smart way for Rebecca to go about it, to be fair.
Marcel's got a full plate. If he's seeing some other honey, she's somewhere in the quarter. She's probably close by. And that, my lady's all I got.
That's actually some very helpful information.
So, is it everything you hoped for?
Oh, bless her. You do forget with her immense power that she is still very young.
I won't talk to anyone about anything. I won't say anything about witches or vampires or originals or you. You said you weren't gonna hover.
She does seem sweet. I don't know why she's so devoted to Marcel.
Send them in now and tell them to do it quickly.
What is going on? Why are the witches so fucking dodgy about all this? Camera's focusing a lot on this guy. Is there going to be something between him and Cammy? Cammy? Davina.
So what's his name? That guy with the fiddle.
Tim, I knew he'd be here. He always performs with these kind of things.
How long have you two known each other?
Since we were 10. I had to leave school, and I didn't get to say goodbye. So I was just hoping to talk to him tonight.
Aww. Is he a witch, though? Because if so, then careful, my darling.
I noticed the windows of your attic have shutters.
Are you really interested in shutters?
I can assure you it's my current life obsession.
Kieran, and you are?
Mildly curious.
He was in the recent Star Trek Picard episode.
It's been abandoned for a while now. Since the night of the massacre.
Who the fuck and what the fuck?
You're standing on blood.
I would say that that was on the lines of compulsion then.
Where is the attic?
Past the sacristy. Up the stairs.
Is it not going to be the right one? Oh, it is. Oh my god. Careful, Rebecca.
What the bloody hell?
Rebecca, language, please.
Is Elijah talking to her telepathically?
I need you to know it's not another of Davina's tricks.
Well, how are you even awake?
Davina withdrew the dagger, unaware that doing so even once would negate its power. A few hours, I shall be as good as new.
Oh, so... Okay, so if you take the dagger out and then put it back in, it doesn't count. Like, you've taken it out now. What's done is done. But how does that make sense in terms of re-daggering someone? Because you need to dip it in white ash again? Is that why? I would assume that that's the case. But yeah, sorry. That just...
Soon I should be able to speak to her, perhaps even to propose a truce of some kind.
Elijah.
In the meantime, I need you to look after Haley. Swear to me, Rebecca.
Damn.
I swear.
But hell yeah, at least now we know where Davina's hideout is.
It's a unique birthmark. Your blood pressure's a bit high. I've got something for it.
Did they send for werewolves? Because she said send them in now.
You know, I'm
actually not that good with pills.
Well, me neither, truth be told.
Haley. Nice. Nice. I'd call Rebecca immediately. I'd be like, bitch, help. So it seems as though she called werewolves, which is interesting because have we mentioned that birthmark before? I feel like that's come up before, that she's got this unique birthmark. Has that got something to do with her heritage, something to do with her parents? Because she was out here looking for her parents and trying to uncover who they were, what their life was like, and she couldn't really find anything. But that would probably only be because all of the werewolves got kicked out of town. So if this lady has connections to those werewolves and the New Orleans werewolves can come back and talk to Haley, then maybe it's about finding out more about her story. Like, maybe her parents aren't dead. Maybe one of them's still alive. I don't know.
Hello, Tim. I believe you and I share an acquaintance.
Ah.
Be a good lad and help me send her a message.
Okay. So, what, did Cammy tell Klaus, or was Klaus listening in?
Tell her this is from one of the musicians. She'll want to leave, and you're going to help her slip out the back exit so Marcel doesn't see. Whatever you do, don't let her out of your sight.
God, the fact like Klaus is playing the puppet master in the background, I love it. Oh. That's convenient. You literally went straight to your home, Davina.
So, where have you been? And why did you want to meet here? It's so creepy.
I mean, the place can't be bad for all time just because one bad thing happened, right?
What does it have to do with the story, though, that killing?
So, are you coming back to school?
That would be a no.
No. But I need you to know that even though I was away, I miss you.
Aw. This is a very nice scene and everything, and I'm enjoying it, but like, what has Klaus made this guy do?
Well, this place does have good acoustics.
Said make sure she gets the message, but like, what message?
The boy has a gift. You can't compel someone to play like that.
In your life, have you ever heard of anything like that? A good man, an aspiring priest, just goes on a killing spree out of nowhere.
I mean, right. A few things to like poke at with that. One, I would assume it was compulsion. I would assume that for some reason this guy was compelled to kill all the others. The only times that we know about stuff like this is when we look at expression magic that we've seen in the Vampire Diaries, where killing of this group of people allowed access to another kind of magic. So is it on those similar lines? Is it something to do with a sacrifice so that magic can be used? But I don't think the witches would have done that. Like, I don't think the witches would have just out of nowhere killed 9 people. So why would Marcel do that? Why would Marcel do that in a way of getting access to another kind of magic? So I don't know, maybe someone just compelled them to kill each other for fun? Who fucking knows at this point? And all that being said, it could just be a very human thing. It could just be that this guy was a psychopath and went out and killed people.
The world isn't awful. People are not awful. They want to be good. Something makes them bad. Something breaks them down, makes them snap.
Good, Cammy. Klaus needs to hear stuff like this. He's very absolutionist on his opinions of the world being full of evil people.
You knew him, didn't you?
His name was Sean.
Ah.
He was my brother.
Ah.
I dream about what happened, and I hate it. I hate that I couldn't help him.
Oh, bless you, darling.
I have some business I should attend to. But before I do, you should go. Enjoy the music. Put this out of your mind.
Oh, bless her. Traumatized past.
The sister, Rebecca, I saw her earlier, snooping around the church, asking about the attic. She doesn't know I take vervain.
When he answered her question about the vervain, I was like, if someone knows about vervain and you've got a vampire who's quite clearly trying to compel you, you're going to just say it. You're going to just give them the truth so that they think that way, and then you can like keep your information. This is why I always think that you need to have some kind of what am I trying to say? You need to have some kind of fail-safe when it comes to compelling people. So for instance, when Rebecca did that there, I don't know, this is like a off the top of my head, but you could say like, take that thing and smack yourself around the head with it. You know what I mean? Like something more serious that would make you know that these people are not on vervain. Because if Marcel is using the attic of this church, who's to say that the priest doesn't know about it? You know? Who's to say that he is not fully aware about vampires and is taking vervain himself? Yeah, what's going on with him? What has Klaus done?
You two are absolutely adorable. But I do need a word with the young lady. Go, sit down, count to 100,000. I assume you know who I am.
I mean, at the end of the day, maybe the message that he gave the guy to tell her was literally like, come meet me, you know? Like maybe he wrote it on the piece of paper and then Klaus gave it to Cammy and Cammy gave it to her, you know what I mean?
Your current dilemma strikes me as a case of poor alliances. Surely you prefer just a little bit more freedom. And yet Marcel keeps you prisoner.
Sorry guys, the subtitles are like way far ahead of him speaking. I'm just gonna turn them off.
Marcel doesn't keep me prisoner, he keeps me safe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, she likes to... Friend, okay. She likes him. It's strange.
If anyone tries to hurt anyone I care about, I'll kill them.
Well then, sounds like you don't need Marcel at all. Perhaps you've suspected it all along.
Ooh.
You feel that? That's your blood starting to boil.
Such a shame to lose him just as you found him again.
Oh shit.
Don't you dare hurt him!
I hope I won't have to, sweetheart. But then that depends on you.
Damn. You're playing a very dangerous game here, Klaus.
Swear allegiance to me alone and the boy lives. Stand against me.
Ooh. Ooh. Careful, hun. You might kill him yourself. Nice one, Haley. Shit. Hey! Well done, Rebecca.
Run!
Maybe they're not
$1
werewolves
for
then.
every mess my family's gotten me into.
Oh. Oh, my darling. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Well, shit. I was going to say maybe they're not werewolves then. The reason I thought that they were werewolves because when they pulled up, there was that howl of that wolf. But come to think of it now, that wolf has appeared before. Maybe it is the same wolf that we saw in the previous episode that walked up to Haley. Maybe these wolves are like warning her when she's in danger because like the howl made her look out the window and see the cars. You know what I mean? So maybe there's something else going on there. But yeah, why are the witches trying to get Haley? I don't understand.
There's blood and bodies everywhere. Someone's ripped this lot to shreds, and there's no smart aleck pregnant girl.
Keep looking. I'm on my way.
Please, don't hurt me.
It wasn't my intent to, but sadly I've run out of time to play nice.
Klaus. Klaus!
Oh no. No, please.
What terrible guilt you'll have to live with.
Get away from him.
No. Let's not be hasty. After all, I can heal him. All you have to do
Just join me.
is ask.
Please.
For you, Davina.
Anything.
Pleasure.
Klaus's approach is interesting. He's going about it on a much more like mutual respect. I understand your power and I appreciate you for it. Whereas Marcel was much more, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to keep you safe, as if like he has the power in the situation. Whereas this Klaus's approach is much more 50-50. It's like, I can keep you safe and protect you, but like you're a powerful bitch on your own. And I understand that and I respect that. You know what I mean?
You will forget everything that happened after the concert, including the fact that you saw Davina.
What? No.
If the witches learn of him, if they know you have a weakness, then poor Tim might end up as leverage in an awful scheme to control you.
Just like Klaus used him to control you right now.
Now you owe me a favor.
Klaus, the master manipulator.
Davina,
What's she gonna tell Marcel?
what are you doing here?
I live here, remember?
Good play by Klaus.
If it wasn't Haley who killed them, then... Lovely. Perhaps her cousins will know where she is.
Hehehehe. Oh, there she is.
What happened? Tell me what happened.
I can't remember.
There's not a scratch on you.
One of the perks of being a werewolf, remember?
No, not that fast.
Leave her alone.
I was gonna say, I feel like having this baby inside her is making her like a lot more powerful than a normal werewolf, you know? Like perhaps given that the baby, but is the baby part vampire? This is the big question, because they're talking about Klaus's half werewolf side being why he could procreate with Haley, even if yes, nature had to come in and like do a little bit of magical things to make it all happen. They still were talking about the fact that he's half werewolf and that's why he can have a child. So does that mean that the vampire genes are negated? They don't count And if that's the case, then why does she have advanced healing?
Your own child healed you.
Okay, so it's to do with the baby.
How did you escape? You were outnumbered, unarmed. Those men were ripped to shreds.
Did she wolf out?
I think it was the wolf.
Oh, the wolf. Oh.
I think it's trying to protect me.
Ah.
When I get my hands on Sophie Devereux.
It wasn't Sophie. It was Agnes.
Fine. Agnes, Sophie, it's all the same to me. I'll slaughter the lot of them.
Not if Elijah gets there first.
Elijah?
He's been in touch. And he has a plan. All he asks is that we take care of you.
Good on you for not ratting Klaus out and turning Haley against him, Rebecca, because that wouldn't have done any good.
And stay away from my guys.
What's wrong? You jealous?
Me? I've already found my queen.
Damn.
The bartender. Stop fooling yourself, Marcel. She's comfort food.
Oh, she's comfort food. You can obviously tell that he has some feelings left for her.
Klaus.
I recall you mentioned something about nightmares and insomnia. I believe I can help. May I come in?
This is super weird. Come in.
You probably shouldn't have done that, my darling.
When he killed those men, I thought he must be mentally ill, but what if a vampire compelled him?
And if so, would you devote yourself to finding the guilty party?
I think she already has.
Whatever lies on the other end of this mystery will only offer you pain. Your only hope for peace is to forget this.
No.
And move on.
Yeah, don't you dare.
I need to know who did this, and I need to make this right. No, don't take this away from me.
Klaus, don't you dare.
Your brother was ill. He killed those people and himself. And it was a tragedy. All you can do is move on.
For fuck's sake.
I will find out what happened. And when I do, I will make sure whoever harmed your brother will suffer.
Elijah.
It's all right, Davina. I don't mean you any harm. Though I do think it's time we had a talk.
Oh, that little smirk. Ooh. Okay, but fuck yeah. Got Elijah back. Let's go. So yes, there we have season 1, episode 4 of the originals. And it was another fantastic episode that definitely living up to the Vampire Diaries name. Like, so far the story has just been so fucking good. In terms of Davina, that's a big thing I want to talk about because, I don't know, just exploring Davina this episode and exploring her loyalties, the way she thinks, the fact that she is still so young. It's so interesting to get into a character like this because she's someone who holds such immense power. And yes, the originals are immortal, so technically she wouldn't have power over them. But the way that she threw Rebecca across the room, it's also implied that like they have no power over her. They're kind of on equal ground right here. So to have someone who is so powerful and yet so easily manipulated, I just love stories like this because it's like you sit here and you're like, please, like, just realize your power, realize that you are the one who can control any of these situations. But obviously being so young, and we don't know her background, but her background seems very much along the lines of she feels scared of the world, scared of the people in it. So she does want to hide away and she does want to be protected. But like, love, just realize your fucking worth, realize your power, because Jesus Christ, you could take anyone down. Now, another area of the episode I want to explore a lot more is the whole Haley stuff, because that wolf that she saw in the previous episode and heard in this episode, I can't remember if she saw it, but I know she heard it this episode. That wolf came along and attacked all of those people after Haley. Now, I thought that those people were werewolves because of the wolf howling, but I think that the wolf was warning her. I think it was howling, saying like, look over here, Haley, like, don't get distracted. So obviously the witches, for some reason, know something about Haley that they don't like, and they were trying to... It seemed like they were trying to kidnap her by putting her to sleep, but then with the weapons that they were holding, it felt as though they were trying to kill her. But I do genuinely think they were trying to kidnap her for some reason. But for some reason, this wolf came along and protected her. My question is it a wolf or is it a werewolf? Because it was nighttime, so it could technically... Both times we've seen the wolf, it has been nighttime, so it could technically be a werewolf, but in such close proximity, would it have been a full moon? Both times? How often does a full moon happen in a month? Let me just look this up. Okay, once per month then. So werewolves only turn once a month. So it definitely hadn't been a month between cases. So I think that kind of throws that out of the loop. Unless it's a different kind of werewolf. Like, because these witches are obviously different kinds of witches. They study a different kind of magic. So maybe there are different kinds of werewolves, but we have really explored that before, so that's very much a shot in the dark. But yeah, definitely want to be getting into more of that and what this wolf's importance to the story is. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, and probably the most important part of the episode, in my opinion, was Cammy. Cammy's influence over the episode, and Klaus specifically, was so interesting to see because so many good points were brought up. When they were talking about the world being a horrible place, Klaus has a very pessimistic view. Klaus views the world as a place full of horrible people who do horrible things, and the world is just a shit place to live, but you just gotta do what you gotta do. Whereas Cammy came in saying, the world isn't a horrible place, people aren't horrible, things happen that make them do things. And I'm of that same opinion. I don't think human beings, we fucking love to simplify things. We love to break things down into like A or B, rather than like A, B, C, D. Like, things aren't simple in life. So you can't sit here and say that the world is a horrible place full of horrible people, because we all know that's not true. Like, you can break it down into good people and bad people, but even then, there are ranges of good people and there are ranges of bad people. Who decides who goes in what category? Good people can do bad things, bad people can do good things. Like, you can't use good and bad. You can't have a binary with stuff like this. It has to be more complicated. And in my opinion, is a case-by-case basis. So to say that the whole world is horrible and everyone's horrible is just stupid, in my opinion. So I enjoy that Cammy came in with that opinion this episode and was showing Klaus, because it seemed like he took it in a little bit. Now, a few other points were that we had a moment towards the start of the episode where Klaus felt bad compelling Cammy. Because Cammy said to him, he was like, if you want me to do these things, why not just compel me immediately? Why not just get it out of the way straight away? And I think there are two parts to that. I think that one is that obviously Klaus likes her, so he likes talking to her, and he just enjoys having a conversation, asking her to do things. Even though at the end of the day he could make her, he just enjoys that like social part of talking to her. But then I think the other side is, because he likes her, he almost feels bad doing it. He feels bad making her do something that she doesn't want to do. He'll still do it. He'll gladly still do it. But that doesn't change the fact that he wouldn't feel great about doing it, you know? So I enjoyed that part. And then the last bit I wanted to touch on was this whole thing with vampires. And Klaus said, if I allow you to remember this information about your brother, allow. I hate this kind of language towards vampires, because it is true. They are allowing it. They are the predator species. They are the ones who have the control. But it just makes me so uncomfortable that we're seeing all these people like Cammy, who seem like good people, just trying to find out what happened to her brother. And then you got Klaus coming along and just making her forget it. Like, it's horrible. And I think it does truly shine a light, because like, obviously we have a lot of, like I was just saying, you can't break it down into good and bad people. But at the end of the day, vampires are predators. They do have power over human beings. And it's very easy to forget that. It's very easy to forget that they are in control of any situation, and if they want to turn on you, they can turn on you and kill you, compel you, do whatever they fucking want with you. Human beings are practically their fucking puppets. And it's such a strange concept to think about sometimes watching this show, because when you look at like Damon and Elena, Stefan and Elena, all that, it's like all these lovely relationships between humans and vampires, but then when you like fully break it down, they can do whatever the fuck they want. But yes, anyway, I feel like I've rambled enough about the whole Cammy stuff. So yeah, to summarize, fantastic episode. We got a lot of avenues to go down. Want to see what Davina's decisions are. Want to see what this Elijah and Davina talk is going to be. Plus, we have Elijah back. Fucking exciting. Want to find out what's going on with this Wolf and Haley. What's going on with this birthmark, because it's been brought up a couple times now, so it's obviously got some kind of importance. And then finally, I want to see where Cammy goes. I want to see where Cammy's storyline ends up in regards to her brother. Like, what actually happened that night? Was he compelled, or did he truly just snap? So yes, anyway, with all that said, thank you very much for watching. I've left a link down below to my Patreon, be able to find the early uncut reactions to the originals and all the other shows that I do. I've also left a link to my Twitch, my Discord, and my socials, so be sure to follow them if you are interested. And Jess, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.